D, the E I don't know is whether the BJP will project a chief ministerial face. I feel they won't.
But we'll win.
I think
we will
they
win.
won't.
Very Bengali projection, Arnab. It won't be this time like last time. It was a Delhi projection. It will be purely Bengali projection.
Well,
that is going to change the equations in a big way.
Arnab, can I get 30 seconds?
Okay,
please?
ladies and gentlemen, I'm closing this debate here
please?
tonight because the other big story, the international story, which was the dramatic escalation that we saw between Ukraine, a very, very dramatic escalation of the Russia-Ukraine war, where Moscow accused Kiev of attempting to assassinate Russian President Vladimir Putin with a series of drone strikes. Ukraine refuted the claims, but here is verbatim, and then I will debate this, what Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, said.
В ночь с 28 на 29 декабря 2025 года киевский режим предпринял террористическую атаку с использованием 91 ударного беспилотного летательного аппарата дальнего действия на государственную резиденцию президента Российской Федерации в Новгородской области. Все беспилотные летательные аппараты уничтожены средствами противовоздушной обороны Вооруженных сил Российской Федерации. В ночь с 28 на 29 декабря 2025 года киевский режим предпринял террористическую атаку с использованием 91 ударного беспилотного летательного аппарата дальнего действия на государственную резиденцию президента Российской Федерации в Новгородской области. Все беспилотные летательные аппараты уничтожены средствами противовоздушной обороны Вооруженных сил Российской Федерации.
So this is quite clear. Did Zelenskyy try to kill Putin at this stage, seeing that he is not winning on the ground? Strong Russian accusations that this was an assassination attempt on Vladimir Putin's residence in northern Russia. Kiev says this is a misinformation campaign, fabricated, aimed at justifying further Russian strikes. I have 2 points of view tonight, very strong voices, very aggressive voices from Kiev. I have very well-known Ukrainian political commentator. He is the director of the Eurasia Democracy Initiative, very closely followed in conflict circles, very aggressive, very, very anti-Russia, very anti-Putin. That's Peter Zalmayak. And against Peter Zalmayak is very, very aggressive, very strong, very no-nonsense Russian voice tonight, Tatiana Kukareva, senior journalist from Moscow. Thank you, Tatiana and Peter. This is being streamed across. Millions of people are going to be watching this debate, and I'm glad both of you have joined. Tatiana, besides the claim, we haven't seen the proof. I think you must produce some proof before you make a claim. Sergei Lavrov said overnight drone attacks targeting the Putin's residence. But where's the proof? Visual proof, graphic proof, technical proof, OSINT proof, any proof?
Well, Arnab, first and foremost, since all of the drones have been shot down, so, that means that there is no damage, or at least that's the official line, that there has been no damage to the residence. So they can't, and obviously they wouldn't show the residence itself for very obvious reasons. But I believe we might as well see that some sort of proof in the coming days. It's not been that long. And as you can imagine, even in Moscow, there's been extreme snowfall. I'm just guessing here, but I think we might see the proof in the coming days, especially in the north, in the Novgorod region. Everything is covered with snow.
That doesn't sound very convincing. I mean, okay, let me get it. I'm not debating with you. I'm getting Peter on this.
Arnab, I'm not here to convince you, and I'm not here to speak for the Ministry of Defense.
I'm just saying here.
There's so much snow.
Peter is responding. I'm not debating with you. Peter is. Peter.
Oh,
Yeah,
please,
Arnab,
by-
listen, Arnab, I think we remember we go back at least, 3.5 years ago.
Yes.
And we were discussing, we had another one of these programs, and your correspondent of Republic TV was in Bucha investigating all those atrocities. And once again, what does the Russian side does? It rolls out Sergei Lavrov, who says it's all orchestrated, it's all fake, even though your own TV channel, remember, Arnab, and you were very vociferous, Mr. Arnab, when you said that these are war crimes. It smells of war crimes. They have to be investigated. Also, don't let me remind you that it was Sergei Lavrov who, from the very beginning, denied the very simple fact that Russia even invaded Ukraine. He was in Istanbul, you remember, March of 2022, saying, we never invaded. So that just goes for Russia's credibility whenever
Peter,
they say what they say.
Peter, you have forgotten,
Peter,
do 1 minute. You have forgotten Operation Spiderweb. Right? I would 1 minute, please. I would give you the date, June 1st, 2025, when you were attacking various places, right? You did this major attack. You were launching remote attacks, striking deep within Russia. You wanted to showcase your ability. But let me tell you more than that out here. You see, let's not try to be too innocent here. Killing people, killing leaders, carrying out assassinations is unfortunately part of the Western playbook. Killing people, assassinating people. I'd like to quote for you from the MI6, your friend MI6 chief Blaise Metrivelis's December 2025 speech, right? Where he said, and I would like to quote, please, he's virtually talking of that. He says, at an operational level, we will sharpen our edge and impact with audacity, tapping into, if you like, our historical SOE instincts. We are at our best when we are hustling to make things happen, because our intelligence is most valuable when it changes the reality on the ground. SOE means Special Operations Executive, a group set up by the British way back in the 40s to carry out sabotage, reconnaissance, espionage, but actionable, things on the ground, like assassinations, killings. And you have the MI6 chief saying, listen, we got to go out there and do something nasty. He's not talking of fighting a war. Isn't that a big admission now? You know the British are with you in this.
Mr. Arnab, let me just say
No,
this.
I just want to tell you. See, don't be innocent out here.
Okay, listen. Having said that, listen, I'm not in a position where, to say that it happened or it didn't. We do have a vociferous no, a rejection of this, a denial of this, responsibility by the Ukrainian side. Then we have the Donald Trump, who said that he kind of heard it and he is sympathetic to the Russians. It shouldn't have happened. The Americans have all the intelligence in the world. They have satellite capabilities. They should come and officially say if they saw it or not. Before that, these conversations are immaterial. The way I see it, Ukrainians have no motivation, no incentive right now after those talks in Mar-a-Lago to turn around and do this, knowing that this will, piss Donald Trump off. This is not to Ukraine's benefit, to be honest with you. But once again,
but Russia has made advances in Zaporizhia. Russia has made big advances in Zaporizhia.
And on the other hand, Mr. Arnab, let me just finish it. And on the other hand, it is the Russian side that has all the incentives to say that it happened, to cast Ukraine in this light as terrorists, to try to disrupt these peace talks once again, because it's clear that Vladimir Putin at this point is not ready to be concluding any peace negotiations. So they have the incentives. I don't think Ukrainians have the incentives to be doing what you claim that they do.
The point here is, Tatiana, what Peter is saying is that Russia wants to keep advancing, right? It as of now, it has recently advanced west of Orikhiv towards a place called Huliai-Pole. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, in Zaporizhia, which is 4 kilometers away. By November, it's using glide bombs on civilians. So it is moving, and Putin does not want to be called by Trump saying, listen, I have a deal for you. Putin wants to sabotage what's going on, according to Peter. And he wants to say that, listen, he wants to blow hot, blow cold. He wants to create a situation where he says, I cannot engage in this because they are trying to kill me. This is that kind of subjective input that can blockade everything. Maybe maybe Putin is worried that Trump may come in with a reasonable deal. I mean, which he may not be able to say no for. So he's got to sabotage the whole thing. And that's why he says they're trying to kill me. Is it the last line of argument that he has to sabotage things, Tatiana?
Well, Arnab, let's first start with a very simple thing that I think needs to be addressed. I would very much like to understand where Peter is right now, because he's definitely not in Kiev. Because
how does that matter where he is?
Well, you know, you're saying live from Kiev, so it's
where are you, Peter?
Default.
Where are you, Peter?
Where are you, Peter?
I mean, I am where I am. Whatever you see is behind me is AI. I'm sorry,
so he's not in Kiev. He's in an unknown location. Change the super.
I'm using an AI program that has a background that's artificial because I don't want to disclose my real background. I mean, you've never seen
people walking behind you. That's not a fake background.
This is AI. This is AI generated. But why does it matter?
1 minute. Can I have that full frame, please? You put an AI generated image. Can I have a look at that a little close up? I don't think that's AI generated.
No, that doesn't look like
it doesn't look like it's AI generated.
Folks, I can send you
you're next to some Scottish castle. There are people walking behind you.
The people, yes, of course, AI. You've never seen that AI can generate people.
Tatiana? Can I not have this split screen, please? Can I have two people on two sides of the screen so I can get a better look? Come on, producers. Now, where are you, Peter? Just curious, you know. You're not in Kiev. You're denying your location. You're a shadowy kind of person. But Tatiana,
-5 in Kiev are not.
But Tatiana, you don't want. You want to change the subject. I can see here today.
Oh God, no, God, no.
You want to change the subject because
Let's address the subject.
You want to change the subject because besides Russia today, nobody believes that there was an attempt to kill, Putin.
Arnab.
Yes.
Arnab.
Yes.
Russia, first of all, as you rightly said, Russia's advancing on the battlefield. That's for one.
That's why you don't want to sign a deal. But why do you have to? You can say we are not going to sign a deal. We are going to win this militarily. Why do you have to say there was an attempt to kill Putin? And by the way, didn't you?
I don't have to say anything.
Didn't you try to kill Zelenskyy in the early years of the Russian invasion? Didn't you send a Chechen special operations team, which was paradropped to Kiev with direct instructions to kill Zelenskyy, but the West had given the Ukrainians the intelligence to preempt that? Come on. That's a well-known fact. I mean, that's verifiable at every level.
Arnab, I'm not here to speculate on special operations that were allegedly targeting Vladimir Zelenskyy. I, as a person, believe that if there were such attempts, that he would have already been dead. The problem is, with that narrative that Vladimir Putin is trying to allegedly derail the negotiations, it's very simple. The negotiations are ongoing. Trump has just met with Zelenskyy. The result of that was a very awkward press conference where there was no announcement of any major breakthrough. You can roll the footage. That was a very reserved reaction from Trump, saying,
Who's been rejecting the peace efforts? By the way, Peter, that's certainly not AI because AI cannot generate sunshine. Half your face is under sunshine, half is covered
because I have a lamp in front of me.
That's not AI. Come on now. You know what kind of AI is this that lights you up in this
folks,
way?
Why is it material to anything we're discussing? Why are we wasting time on this?
Because
how do I know that Tatiana is where she says she is? How do I know that?
This is not AI. This is my bookshelf. Do you want to read the books?
Your bookshelf can be in Papua New Guinea for all I know, right? You want to spend another 5 minutes obfuscating and wasting our viewers' time? I suggest we get back on the topic, please, and stop wasting time.
We go back to the topic. Did Zelenskyy try to kill Putin because Ukraine said that it killed Chechen forces who were sent to assassinate Zelenskyy? That's a very known fact. So, you know, that was on 2nd March 2022. I've got the reports yet now. Right? So, yeah, so this conflict has gone down to assassinations. Who's been rejecting the peace efforts? Tatiana, it's you. Ukraine has been open. Despite everything, despite the number of ways in which Zelenskyy has been humiliated, it's open. It's open.
How is it open?
How is it open? Because President Zelenskyy recently in November, reaffirmed flexibility towards all the revised American initiatives for resolution. While Russia is continuing to bombard...
He hasn't agreed on them, Arnab. We just had him talk with President Trump, and they came out and there was no agreement. So how is he open? You know,
Are you
saying
saying,
that he's open is one thing.
1 minute, are you saying that he's meeting Trump and trying to kill Putin at the same time?
I don't think he's launching those drones himself, if you know what I mean. I wouldn't go as far as this.
Then who's behind it? Who's launching the drones? Are you saying the Americans are trying to assassinate
control
Putin?
That is a little bit
Are you saying
too
the
much,
Americans are trying to assassinate Putin?
Are we seriously asking this question now?
No, I mean, you just said that. I don't think it's Zelensky, so who's the remote control behind him? Of course, I ask every question seriously.
You know how drones operate, don't you? There's
They
an
don't have a mind
operator.
of their own.
Yes, but the presidents don't usually operate drones with a remote control unless it's it's a toy in their backyard. That's why he has military people. That's usually how it operates.
Come on, you guys have not been talking. I mean,
sure
listen, I mean, during the discussions in Istanbul, it is Russia which said we have no interest in sustained dialogue. We don't want to stop what we are doing. We don't like the peace offers. So the thing is that if this is land grab, then Putin's going to go all the way. So why are you surprised, Peter? Why are you surprised?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And of course, Vladimir Putin considers his chances pretty good that, Ukraine armed forces will disintegrate in 2026. He's got the support of his allies. He's got the support of North Koreans. He's got the support of China and Iran. He just needs to keep Donald Trump kind of at arm's length, not to anger him too much, right? So as that Donald Trump is unpredictable. I mean, he doesn't want any additional sanctions, right? But just enough to keep playing him so he can continue doing what he's doing. I think you nailed it, Mr. Arnab, when you said that a simple thing such as, why don't we show a gesture of goodwill and just do some ceasefire? Merz, the German chancellor, has suggested that, right? It's been suggested. While these are pending, why can't you call off each other's dogs? Why can't we try some ceasefire? Vladimir Putin feels that the momentum is his. He does not want to lose this momentum because ultimately he thinks that by nuke or by crook, diplomatically or not, he will achieve what they call all, goals of the so-called special military operation.
That's a lovely story.
Tatiana, you're not sounding very convincing. You're not sounding very convinced yourself either about this. See, you're not providing any proof, and I said for evidence, you said there's been a lot of snow, we can't provide evidence. I mean, is that ever a Russian position? Would you say this with any element of seriousness? Lavrov, who's now saying that there is an attempt to kill Putin, he rejected freezing all the front lines. He said, I want all of Donetsk, all of Luhansk, all of Kherson, all of Zaporizhia. I want to be maximalist. I want it all. I want it all. Right? I want all my 2025 gains.
He has almost gotten all of them already.
Yeah, right.
Arnab. That's for one. Second of all, I appreciate how much you like a good show, but asking a journalist to provide proof that would be specifically in the hands of the military, of the Ministry of Defense, is a little bit too much, too far a stretch, don't you think?
No, but I've not seen anything on Russia today. I'm not asking you. I'm saying you must be following Russian media.
I don't speak for the Ministry of Defense, and you know that.
No, I know that. You don't have to speak for the Ministry of Defense.
Personally from me.
No, I'm asking you whether you are aware of any proof. That's different from asking you for proof. I'm saying, are you, as an informed person in Moscow, with full access to the media, seeing a shred of information beyond the claim that there was an attempt to assassinate Putin? Show me the radar images or any images that Russians would have put out. Such a big claim, well, there would be some intelligence, some evidence that you would carry. Okay, you're saying 91 drones fell to the ground. Show me a picture of a drone that fell to the ground so that we can verify what kind of drone it was, source its origin, show me the scientific evidence, reverse engineer the drone and tell me what kind of drone it was. What kind of weapon did it carry?
It's a very simple situation, Arnab. Russia has no reason to falsify such an attack. That is very, very simple math. Because again, Russia is advancing. There has been no breakthrough in the negotiations with the Ukrainian side for Donald Trump. So there's no reason to undermine this process for Moscow. Moscow has been contacting Washington on a regular basis. You know that. You report on that. There's very successful contacts on our side. And Donald Trump is actually peddling a peace plan that is not what Ukraine wants to agree to. That is very simple. I'm sure you read the American peace proposal and the revised American peace proposal.
Okay, tell me, where did the UAVs land? Though you said that, 1 minute, you have said that 91 drones sent by Zelenskyy were downed and they went to Putin's personal residence. Are your air defenses really that bad that they went to Putin's personal residence on Lake Valdai? I mean, you expect anyone to believe that? You have no air defense around where Putin lives? Is he such an exposed world leader? What are you admitting? Either you're admitting you're
twisting it out of proportion significantly.
I'm not.
Because the announcement was that there was an attempted attack and all 91 drones were downed. None of them reached their target. That doesn't mean that the target was not clear when they were down.
How do you know
that means that
what was the target? Where was it intercepted?
A defense system that is so advanced that we could down every single one of the 91 drones. Again, if you want concrete proof, I suggest to file a request with the Ministry of Defense or with the Foreign Ministry, just as every journalist does in this country, at least, that's for sure.
I have visuals out here, Peter, of the drone attack on the Kremlin, May 3rd, 2023. You see these visuals. That's not AI generated. It's as real as the background behind you. Right? These are not firecrackers, Peter. You've been doing bad things. You've been going. You see, the battle is to be fought on the ground. If you're losing on the ground, then what does this help? How does this help? How does a symbolic attack on the Kremlin help?
This was 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
So you
Why
admit
are we
it was 2 years
rehashing
ago.
this?
You did it 2 years back.
This was 2 years ago, and I don't think that Vladimir Putin's life was in danger. I mean, do you want me to bring up all the instances where the Russian side attacked central Kiev, where our government quarters are? I mean, do you want me to list them? I don't think that we have enough time in this program. We'll be here tomorrow if I start listing all the attempts on Zelensky's life, like you said, and all the destruction that we've seen in central Kiev where government buildings are located. I mean, is it a matter of now establishing who went there first? Listen, I don't personally condone this. I don't think that if Ukraine is behind the attack on Putin, I think it's highly counterproductive and has very little chance of happening, even though I do believe that Vladimir Putin deserves to be executed 1,000 times over. He is a war criminal. It's been, time and again.
You are calling for the elimination.
No, I'm not calling
you
it.
I
think he deserves it.
You are. No, 1 minute. Now that's extremely, extremely worrying.
Everyone has the right to a free and fair trial. But as a person, I think he's a personification of evil in this world. And many people would like to see him dead. I'm not saying I'm one of them. But, the guy has deserved whatever would eventually...
I think that Peter, that's stretching it a bit. You see, now if it goes down to the level of bitterness where you're calling for the elimination of a world leader, that's dangerous stuff. Right? That's very radical.
Especially from some third party country that we don't even know which it is.
Yeah, like I said, Tatiana, we don't know where you are.
It's dark where I am. Do you want me to show it outside?
You want me to list all the places that are dark right now? You want me to list all those places so we can go by elimination? Arnab, I think what you said was very correct at the very beginning, that Ukraine simply has no incentive to be doing what's doing, and the Russian side has all the incentive. How many times have we seen a false flag operation on the part of the Russians? the very way this war began. And everyone has forgotten, but you remember, they claimed that there was some kind of an incursion, an attack on the Russian-occupied part of the Donbass right before the invasion of February 2024. And they used this to have a formal excuse to start the war. That's exactly how Hitler started, World War II, when he accused Poland of actually sabotaging a radio station. These bloody dictators learn from each other, and they have the exact same handwriting.
Okay, I'm told that 10 minutes back,
the Ukrainian narrative.
10 minutes back, there is a visual that RT has put out of Russia intercepting UAVs heading towards Moscow, according to its mayor. I don't know whether that is AI generated or real. We'll follow it up. But Tatiana and Peter, it's an interesting twist in the tale. Clearly, everyone's not working towards giving another chance at the Nobel Prize to President Donald Trump. Thank you very much. At 9 o'clock tonight, why I am personally completely against the attempt to shame the victim in the Sengar case. Big story, hot debate.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध, MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा. केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे. केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार. विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी.
Air India seeking temporary subsidy from government over...
Good morning, Harsha. How are you? How are you, Harsha, today? Nice to see you again.
Yes, but you have to respond to the questions. Why Air India is seeking temporary
good morning.
Subsidy?
Good morning. It's nice to see you.
But 4,000 crore temporary subsidy.
Oh. Good morning.
Not good morning, but we are asking the questions here. Why Air India is seeking temporary subsidy after the Pakistan explosion?
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Tonight on The Nation's Sharpest Opinion, I'm back to talk to you about the case of a politician then from the BJP called Kuldeep Singh Sengar, ex-BJP, who raped a 15-year-old girl. 50-year-old politician, raped a 15-year-old girl, strong man, politician, connected to everyone. The victim fights and fought and continues to fight for justice. But there is a whole system out there. There's a whole system which includes politicians, unfortunately sections of the media, which are directly or indirectly supporting the rapist. Ladies and gentlemen, before I debate opinions, let me confront memory. Let me remind you, before people shaming the victim of the Unnao rape case, I would like to condemn the media networks, the news networks, the news organizations that are giving an open platform to those who are shaming the victim. These are the media who need to be called out. You need to ask this media, why are you supporting a rapist? Why are you supporting a convicted rapist and a convicted murderer? There are people who give me lectures on journalism. I would like to ask those people who call others names, what kind of media do we have in this country which is openly supporting a rapist and a murderer, a person who at the age of 50 raped a 15-year-old girl, was defiant, killed her father, killed 2 of her aunts, and continues to fight her. But the amazing thing is, the victim in this case fights harder, and we're with the victim. I condemn the media. I condemn those media who are standing with the rapist. Ladies and gentlemen, why are they doing that? To make some political parties happy. That's the problem with this media. Always looking up to satisfy and make political parties happy. Those people who are trying to shame the victim of Kuldeep Singh Sengar are doing so on the sole premise that you have forgotten. And I need to ensure that you don't forget. Look at these visuals. This is the way in India today, a rape victim is dragged, targeted, dragged. She doesn't have a place to protest on a cold December night. She fights, she's kicking and screaming and saying, I want justice. The police, so threatened, targets her and removes her. I would have liked the police to stop saluting the person they call Mananiya Vidhayak, Kuldeep Singh Sengar, ex-BJP in this case. Ladies and gentlemen, today you need to know, in case you've forgotten who Kuldeep Singh Sengar is, what this case is about. But before that, let me remind you, 13 years ago, our nation burned with rage after Nirbhaya. Let's not forget these visuals. People ask me today, you're asking questions. I want to remind those people who ask me today why I'm asking questions. Did they ask me that question when I supported at the national level and launched a long campaign for justice for Nirbhaya? 13 years ago, this country burned with rage after Nirbhaya. Candle marches, placards, screams for justice. We as a nation said, never again, never again, never again. And let me remind you, at that time when we fought for Nirbhaya, Mr. Rahul Gandhi had gone missing. So I'd like to tell the Congress party, keep quiet and sit down. Sit down, Congress party. Don't you dare lecture us. We know what you are. Today, after 13 years, however, in the same city, on the same streets, we are seeing the victim of Kuldeep Singh Sengar and her mother being dragged on the streets. And I say, what has changed then? They're not being dragged by just the police and the law, however. They are being dragged, questioned and shamed on social media, on news agencies and news channels. The post made by the convicted rapist family member is being given more value, more traction than the victim's own testimony, even after the court orders. When people go to Jantar Mantar and hold placards pledging their allegiance and support to a convicted rapist, it is important that Republic picks up the case file and reminds you why this is horribly wrong. And I want to show you a few pictures, ladies and gentlemen. When you see people say, justice for Kuldeep Sengar, justice for a convicted rapist. This is the same country where we vowed after Nirbhaya never to let it happen. Today, openly on the streets of the city, people are coming and fighting for a rapist. And some people in the media are supporting them. What kind of people are these? I want to show you a visual here today. This is a visual of a crushed car on a highway. Can we run it full frame, please? The car is the car in which the rape victim, her lawyer and 2 aunts were traveling to meet the victim's uncle, who had been put in jail on cases filed by Sengar and his men. Ladies and gentlemen, a truck hit the car 11 times with a clear and murderous intention of killing the rape victim. Both her aunts died. One was a key witness in the case. I just want to say one thing as you see these visuals tonight to all of you. To all of you. Remember these visuals and show these visuals to the politicians. And I want to know tonight, in this country, my country, at the end of 2025, where are the netas? Where are the politicians on either side? BJP, Congress, Samajwadi Party, where are they? Do they think the people of this country will forget? Now, I want to tell you, if there's any gentleman from Gen Z, Gen Alpha or Gen Z particularly watching this, you may have been too young when this happened, but you are aware now. I want you to see this visual and I will simply tell you what happened. A 15-year-old girl, she was Gen Z too, but she was raped by a 50-year-old politician. 50-year-old politician raped a 15-year-old girl. When she fought, he killed her father. He filed cases against her family members. When she went to court to file a counter case, in this car, he tried to kill her. He sent someone to kill her, hit her car 11 times. 2 of her aunts died on the spot. It's a miracle she survived. But it's a greater miracle and a fantastic miracle that even today she is fighting. Ladies and gentlemen, we speak for justice for this and justice for that, but now why are entire political parties quiet today? Ladies and gentlemen, while there was an attempt to kill the victim and 3 of her family members, her father and 2 aunts were killed, this man, this convicted rapist, who is now getting support from some sections of the media, put his face on. This shameless Sengar continued to live like a king. Look at his smile out there. This is after he was convicted. He was smiling. And the politicians were calling him Mananiya Vidhayak, Mananiya Vidhayak. Look at the respect that he was given after being convicted as a rapist. High-ranking officers were bowing down to him. Look at the picture of that policeman doing namaste to him. Ladies and gentlemen, now again look at the truck that hit the car. Emboldened by the support of the political system, he's tried to kill the victim. The truck that tried to kill her had a blackened number plate, which was a clear murder attempt. Now look at these visuals on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Her father's body, the victim's father's body, lying lifeless in police custody on 9th April 2018. Post-mortem showed external injuries, multiple. So you have a victim who's being dragged. I want to run the pictures on 2 sides of the screen. The victim being dragged on the streets by the police today after having fought in such a way, a fight that cost her even her father's life. And I am asking today, where is the justice in this country? Where is the justice? Where are the people who say, we stand for you? Where are the netas who say, vote for us? The father died, the victim is fighting. Where are the big leaders and where are their tweets? Who is where today? Why is everybody looking the other way? Why is everybody pretending this has not happened? Do the politicians have any shame? One day before her father's custodial killing, this is what a rape victim and her family goes through in this country. I want to ask all the political parties who promised big things after Nirbhaya, where is their conscience and where is their spine and where is their effort? One day before her father's custodial killing, the survivors attempted self-immolation. Now I rewind further. The Allahabad High Court, seeing all this injustice, took suo moto cognizance of media reports and her father's custody deaths and directed the CBI to arrest Sengar within 14 days. And ladies and gentlemen, look at these visuals on your screen. The 2018 shots of Sengar with the police and the media. These are visuals I will now show you. I will now show you, just a day before the Allahabad High Court orders his immediate arrest, look at how he was roaming around this fellow Sengar. Unbothered, flexing his power. He had no fear of court. He had no fear of the police and he had no fear of the authorities. He was the court, according to me. He was the police. He was the authority. I am told that these are not national issues. Arnab, why are you focusing on them? Then some people will come and tell me, what is your agenda, Arnab? Why are you focusing on it? I ask you today, there are media people who are writing articles. Why is Arnab asking questions? Well, I'd like to ask them, why have they kept their mouth shut? I would like to ask all those media who are quiet today, why are they quiet when open injustice happened in this country? And now people are saying, oh, no, but you're a journalist, be neutral. I shall not be neutral. For neutrality is deliberately sitting on the fence on cases like this. Remember, Sengar was expelled from the BJP after acute embarrassment. But he continued as an MLA until his disqualification on December 20th, 2019, after his conviction in the Delhi High Court. A man convicted of murder and rape, a then 50-year-old man, today 59, convicted of murder and rape, continued to be an MLA after being convicted by the Delhi High Court. So no matter what the questions today, the problem with certain sections of the media in this country is this then. They want to pick up stories and events in the way that it suits them. Sengar suits no politician, and the fake media in this country will never talk about it with a clarity of voice that we do. This is a question of justice if there ever was. Ladies and gentlemen, even now, there are certain politicians who say that, why aren't you happy? The Delhi High Court has reversed, the Supreme Court has reversed the Delhi High Court order. Why are you raising it? Well, I will continue to raise it because I still want Gen Z, I want younger people, people who may not be fully aware about how bad people like Sengar are. They are the curse on the system, ladies and gentlemen. They are a shame on the system. But the tragedy is, we have allowed these people to feel that they are the system. And now I want you to go back to the visuals of the victim's father, lifeless. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is any justice, we don't need politicians to put out reels anymore. We need politicians to speak up when we expect them to speak up. Look at these visuals. I request all political party leaders to face us. And remember, at the end of the day, it is power to the people. When there is injustice to this extent, the people will not be quiet. They will be loud. They will be so loud that they will be heard. The people will be heard. Now let's debate.
She is a rape survivor. She fought through years of fear, threats and trauma.
By Delhi police officials and been put into the CRPF bus.
A day after the Supreme Court order, Sengar's daughters have launched a counter-offensive. From alleging old enmity,
आप एक प्रूफ दे दीजिए और आप मेरे पिता को फांसी पे चढ़ा दीजिए। मैं कह रही हूँ, अगर एक भी सबूत है कि मेरे पिता ने उस लड़की की तरफ आंख उठा के भी देखा है, तो आप मेरे फादर को फांसी दें।
To questioning the survivors' credibility, every familiar tactic is back.